Hey, it's Thursday, January 12th, and I have a winner. The winner of the giveaway for the January 21st, 2023 Astrological Forecast Year Ahead event is Haley. And Haley, I will be tagging you in this post and also sending you a direct message to get you set up for a registration so that you can join us. You can expect, and anyone who signs up for the event at this time can expect to receive an email that contains both phase 1 and phase 2. So initially, I sent out phase 1 on New Year's Day and then phase 2 on the Cancer full moon. I was inspired by the ending of the holiday season to ask us all to connect with our bodies and our breath in an attempt to soothe ourselves and help us to come and be present in the moment. And we'll do a little exercise on January 21st to get started to get into that space as well. And then on January 6th, with the Cancer full moon, I sent out some worksheets and a video for how to connect with emotions. And the vibrations of our emotions are actually part of what contributes to the manifestation in our lived experience. The vibration of our emotions, the frequency, and then the vibrations of the celestial events, they work together. And that is in part how we have certain experiences that are based on what's happening with the astrology. And so it's not just our different astrological charts giving us different experiences, because my experience of Mercury retrograde could be very different than yours. It's not just my chart. It's also how vibrationally I am emitting. So the frequency that I am putting out is interacting with the vibrations and the frequency of the celestial weather. By connecting with our emotions and using our emotions as a compass and a guide, we can better inform our own goals and intentions. And from that space, you might have a different experience around manifesting, because I know that folks sometimes struggle with New Year's resolutions or achieving their goals. And I've heard from many people that a lot of times what happens is that folks just get very discouraged and they give up on any kind of shift that they had been attempting to make for the year. And before January is over, the goals and the resolutions are already forgotten, and there may even be some resentment and negative emotions around that failure. And we're going to really be looking at this a lot differently. So folks who have the time to go through the worksheet and do a little bit of writing about it, or even you could be taking notes in your phone, the answers to the questions in the worksheets, from that space, you'll be able to come to the January 21st event, and we'll be talking about goal setting and planning throughout the year from a very realistic lens as well. I bring my Capricorn rising everywhere I go, and she's very practical. So part of what we're going to be talking about is some of the things that take place that are actually quite mundane, like daylight savings times, like how trying to launch a project in the middle of Cancer season when the kids are out of school is generally a bad idea. Now, it's something that you could work with. There are times that we need to be engaging in something at a certain time of year because seasonally it makes sense, or whatever the reason may be. There are reasons why we can't always control how the timeline plays out. But being honest with ourselves about what is energetically available to us, whether it's our own energy and life force that is maybe being used to keep kids entertained and to care for them during the summer, for example, or energetically when we're thinking about the celestial weather. For instance, when the moon is full is a terrible time to get like something surgically removed. It's growing energy. We'll talk about these sorts of things too. And I just can't wait. I'm going to talk about it all right now. And so apparently I'm not waiting. I'm just talking to you. But I would like to say something about the energy of this moment. Mars just stationed direct after having been retrograde for some time in the sign of Gemini. So it's still in Gemini, and it's back where it was last fall. Let's take a look at the degrees really quick. I'm not going to share my screen with you. Oh, I don't actually have that information available to me right now. So I will let that go. But Mars is at 8 degrees Gemini and is, from our perspective on Earth, now in forward motion. And that helps us. It helps a lot. So what is going to happen is that our energy is going to be coming back online. Our will, and even just like the fuel that energizes us, is now back online, moving in forward motion. The more Mars influence you have in your chart, or the more of a Gemini you are, and you don't have to be a Gemini sun to be a Gemini person, but if you've got placements in Gemini, you will be noticing this probably. Some folks maybe are not going to be relating to what I'm sharing and hadn't really noticed anything over several months. But if your energy has been lagging, if you have been having illnesses or injuries slow you down, especially if you've been having headaches and inflammation in the head, this is going to help. Although I have just received the message that things might actually feel a little bit worse before they get better. In some ways, I think what's going on is that people are getting their, it's like, this is kind of a strange way to explain it, but like you've got your balls now, it's just a horrible way to say it, but that's just what I was seeing, is like people suddenly, or maybe this is more appropriate. Like now you've got a spine, like you're feeling more courageous to say some of the words that you were swallowing. And if you've been sort of turning some things in on yourself, this is an opportunity for it to actually come out and for you to say hard things to people. But it might not be graceful, especially if you were running that resentment credit card as you repressed some of these words. Yeah. Be careful with that sharp tongue. It might get a little gnarly over the next couple days, but it's nothing to be afraid of. Just be careful.